Welcome back to the Shrink Down. With the Super Bowl and Winter Olympics coming up, we thought this would be a great time to talk about sports. So, we're going to be hitting all the hot topics in sports, from community and connection to more complicated sides like inclusion, representation, and some of the kind of more drama that hits the sports scene. But before we get into today's topic, we're going to do our 4-minute faves. Remember today, who wants to start with their fave?
I can go first. Mine's quick.
All right.
So spring might seem far away, but I also know time flies by, especially the older we get. And so it'll be here before we know it. And
Yay.
I know. I cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait,
good with
man.
that.
I know. I can't wait. We've all been in the drudges of tons of snow and below zero
Cold.
day after day.
Snow days.
Yes. The snow days
so
and
many.
all the
So many.
garbage that comes with winter. But I'm always trying to find jeans that I really like. I'm sure we all are. And I have
always.
a variety of jeans, cheap jeans, expensive jeans. I have a couple pairs of like high-end ones I usually get from Nordstrom's because I like their return policy and they'll alter and hem for free. And I'm short. But the jeans that I realize I have been grabbing the most, more than my more expensive pairs, are American Eagle. So American Eagle Outfitters, which I want to say I used to shop there in high school and college.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their jeans are awesome. They come in regular length, short length, probably long length, all different styles, different washes. And I am finding myself, and they have lots of sales. So you can get a good pair of jeans for like 40 or 50 bucks. And I am very impressed with the quality, the wearability, the durability. They're the ones that I keep grabbing the most. So if you are wanting to try a different brand as you're thinking about jeans for the spring and summer, I would check out American Eagle. And I just order a ton online and then I just return what doesn't work.
And I will add, those are Tim's favorite jeans as well for wearing to the airport with like a blazer. Like they have like a, I don't even know what you would call it, professional slim fit for men.
Good to know.
Just as an extra aside, yeah.
Since I don't think my husband has bought an item of clothing for himself in about 16 or 17 years.
And if you're ordering online anyway,
Good to know.
just get his sizing. And yeah, they do have some really nice options for men as well.
Okay, cool.
I've seen a lot of influencers like posting about them. And then I swear every time I go to find a short length, because I'm also in the short club, they're sold out. I'm like, so they must be really popular. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Like the pairs that I've looked at, they've always been sold out. I'm like, these must be really popular that they never have short.
And I felt reluctant because I'm like, is this just am I only doing this because it's an influencer thing and it's what keeps showing up on my Instagram? But then
But if you like them,
I like them. I got maybe 4 pairs. I think it's worth a try.
That's awesome.
And easy to return and ship back. So you don't even have to go to the store if you don't want. People will think you're shopping for your child. And you're not.
Your teen. You have to go in. You have to go in and interact with the teenager that's working there.
I'll just go in with Maddie. They'll just assume I'm shopping with her.
I know. I went into that Aerie store, which is owned by them because a lot of my nieces shop there, and my 10-year-old Danny in the corner filled out a job application and put all of my info down and turned it in to.
Oh my god!
Yes. And they emailed me.
Fill in the blank.
And I said,
so you have a new part-time job.
Yeah,
you have a new part-time job. Okay.
I
You
could.
have to use the discount.
Yeah, he loves a good prank. That was a good one. I'm like,
that's actually hysterical.
That is good.
So, yeah. How about you, Lauren?
So my recommendation is also sort of related to the depths and the drudgery of winter and hoping for spring, but it's actually an Instagram account. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys to look them up and follow them because it's bringing so much joy to like what is otherwise like 12-month January. And I know this will be coming out the beginning of February, but it feels like these last 5-6 weeks have been forever. The name of the account is Josh and Jace. Okay. They're these guys from England. So it's Josh and Jace, all like one word, lowercase. And they came to America the first week of January and picked Michigan of all places to tour through. And their philosophy is, why would we come to a place when it's where everybody says you should go and it's beautiful and it's easy, like Michigan in the summer, like going up north or something like that. We're going to come and like really get to know your state, like when you're in the depths of of our I don't know, depths of our
Winter.
Michigan depression, right? Oh my gosh, they're bringing so much joy. The boys and I are looking at their little updates every day. It looks like this is the third state they've visited. So they pick a state. So it looks like they've been in Texas from what I can tell. And then maybe somewhere else down south. But this is the first time they've been up in this Midwest area. And for all of our listeners in Michigan, as well as that Chicagoland area, you know how wonderful Michigan can be in the summer to visit. But they are picking like all these different like activities, and they're hysterical in their accents. I mean, so fun. And so it's PG content highlighting sort of like the best of what social media should be, in my opinion. So you can watch them, the little clips with your family. They're on YouTube as well, but that's where we've been sort of following them, as on Instagram. And of course, I mean, personally, they're highlighting our state, but if they were in Illinois or something, it's just so fun to see them like do different things that we don't even think about as Americans and find like such joy in it. Like they are like blown away by the Great Lakes and the beauty of the Great Lakes in the winter, right? Like things that, I don't know, it's helping put a really positive spin on this area that we all live. And they're a really fun follow. So if you need something just like wholesome and light in these dark days to look at, I would highly recommend them as a quick follow, Josh and Jace. So,
well, Lauren, it's funny that you say that the reason they're going to Michigan now is because they want to see it during the not popular time. Yeah. Because as you guys know, I'm from Minnesota. I continually talk about like moving back or whatever. And my husband's like, I'm like, you guys love Minnesota. And he's like, because we're there in the summer. It's lovely in the summer. He's like, I don't want to be in Minnesota in March. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be in Minnesota in March either. But, pretty much every other month of the year, I'm okay with it. But to your point,
it's been
the winter is a bit rough.
It's very funny watching them experience things. And I guess I didn't realize the climate in England is much milder. Yeah. Because they are blown away by like our temperatures, the ice, the snow. So it's just been fun, like putting a little spin on what we all look at and dread every single day this time of year. And they are just like finding such joy in it. So it's a fun little follow.
There was a funny Instagram video recently of like, it was two popular ones, but it was like a guy from Colorado and he was like talking to a Midwesterner during the winter. And he was like heading out the door, not dressed very like with a lot of bulk. And the Midwesterner was like, ooh, you're going to need, a little bit. He's like, I'm from Colorado. It's fine. And he goes out and comes back in and he's like, oh my God, what is that? And he's like, yeah, that's the Midwest winter. And he's like, well, at least you guys have the hills. He's like, oh no, we don't have hills. They're like, then why are you living here?
Right. So yes, it's that kind of content. So I very much appreciate it. I would take a look at it. They're fun little 30-second reels and clips and things like that. And you don't have to be from Michigan to enjoy it because they really sort of like highlight what should be the good in social media. So
love it.
Wilhelmina, what about you?
This is actually a great segue. So I'm recommending a book, The Amazing Generation.
Oh, yes. It just got delivered to my front porch an hour ago.
Yay! I've got it. Mm-hmm. So this is written for kids. Mm-hmm. It is part book, part graphic novel. Mm-hmm. And it is a lot of the information that was in The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. But it is put into a readable format for kids. So it really is like, instead of parents lecturing their kids on like, don't have cell phones and they're bad and all of that, it's actually meant for kids to like take in this information and giving them this knowledge so that they feel sort of maybe empowered to make that choice for themselves. So I have been reading through it. It is like a lot of good information. The main themes are like using tech as a tool. So technology can be great. A lot of the aspects to the phone, the calendar, things like that can be great, but not using it for filling your life with friends, keeping those experiences for real life situations. So make real friends, go out and experience real things, go to Michigan during the winter for real, like things like that. Right. And so it's really trying to empower the kids to make that choice instead of kind of like, oh yeah, my mom won't let me have a cell phone.
How has it gone over with your kids? The content, how has it landed with them?
It has not landed yet because I wanted to read through it first.
Oh, good call for you.
Good call.
So that then I kind of can talk to them about it. So I'll let you know. I think
Are
they're
you
going to
planning
like
on
it.
just giving it to them? Like, because I've heard a couple parents say, like, I'm reading it with my kids, and then other parents just giving it to their kid. And I'm assuming that age will probably matter, but
Dictate. Yeah.
you tell me, like, what's your plan?
My plan was to finish it myself and then give it to Maddie or Griffin and then give it to the other. And and I'm actually saying this is going to be our first family book club book. So we're going to all read it and then we're going to like talk about it. So I'm going to actually have Owen read it too. And
I'm stealing this idea.
That's how I
I
presented it.
Say I have it here. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'll start
That's a great idea.
And then I love this idea because we can only say so many times. Would you like me to print off a research article that shows you why? I think Sam is ready. Like his eyes are in the back of his head.
Oh my God. As soon as eyes are rolling.
Anytime I go to Ed, I'm like, you want to hear something that and then she's like, oh, let me guess. Research. You read something.
I'd be happy to print off the article. I love that he did this.
And I do think kids have some interest in it. So the book, I'd like to have Emily Edlin on one of these episodes, but the autonomy supported parenting book that I recommended a couple months ago. I had it sitting, it's our school book club this like school year that like the principal's encouraging the parents to read. We have a couple book club discussions throughout the year that I help facilitate. And I had the book sitting in our kitchen. And my oldest, Danny, walked by and said, why are you reading this? And I said, well, twofold. I said, one, sort of for work, like just in terms of my job. And secondly, because I'm a parent and I think it'll help me with parenting. And he was so sweet and goes, could you save that for me so that I can read it when I have kids?
Aww.
So I do think there's this interest that kids have about like, and I said to him, I go, I've never been a parent before. And I said, I don't know how to do this. Just like you've never been a kid
we
before.
Make the decisions we make.
I say that all the time. I'm like, this is my first time being a parent.
Yes. It's my first time doing this.
Yeah.
Of however they old they are too, right? Like I've never had I've never had an 9-year-old before.
Yeah.
I've never played Whiplash with both my kids taking turns hating me all day long. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Give me a minute.
Well, trying to regulate and not get lost in it.
Yeah. How about you, Vanessa?
I love it.
Okay, so since it's sports theme, I thought I would share a sports related fave of mine. So my sister last winter gifted me this Chicago Bears sweatshirt.
Oh, that's why haven't you sent me that?
Sorry.
Aww,
and it's Abercrombie.
Yes.
They got great
stuff.
It is okay. So not only is it super cute, it is the softest material. And so because she's such a good gift giver, she gave me this one this year. So cute. And it's so soft. Like I just like love, like I keep telling everyone who will listen, like it's so soft. Now I have 2 of them that I live in. Like I'm constantly wearing them.
Yeah.
I just checked their website. So they have this one still, but not in the Bears. So they have a really cute Lions one.
I was going to say, my cousin has the Lions one from last year. And it's adorable.
Yes. But this year they do still have, I don't know if they make different quantities for different teams. So like there's limited Bears stuff, but there's a Bears hoodie that looks like the sweater from last year, but it's a hoodie. So if you're a Bears fan, the navy blue hoodie is there and it's super cute. The one I'm wearing is from this year and they still have lots of teams, but just not the Bears anymore. But the quality is like 10 out of 10. So good. And just like American Eagle, they always have sales. Yep. It's a little bit oversized. I like, you guys know that my sweatshirts are like extra. I wear them ridiculously large. So if you just like them a little bit oversized, then I would say probably get your regular size because they are a bit oversized. But if you like them oversized, I would say go up a size. But they're just such good quality. I've washed them a million times and they still look great. And they feel so soft. It's like I feel like I'm wrapped in a cloud.
What's the price point? What's the price point?
So jealous.
I don't they were gifts, so I don't know off the top of my head. But when I looked, I know that they were on sale, and I don't think they were
Or say
anything
this is a
egregious.
good time to buy it.
Yes, I don't think it was anything egregious. Maybe like $50,
Yeah, that's not bad.
That
Okay.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they
Well, I
come
only-
out with more pre-football
Yeah.
season? Like, do you think they'll
Yes,
come out with more
they
next
do.
summer?
Yes,
Okay.
because last year, my other ones from last year, they don't have that one anymore, and this was new to this year. So they're always coming out with new.
Don't ever
like,
donate
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Give it to me if you ever decide to get rid of it. We have I have
my
lots of
favorite,
people.
so good.
Vintage.
Yes,
Yes.
I know. I love it. So my sister knows like anything that's Chicago that I'm like a fan of. So she always gets me like Chicago things.
I love it.
So that's my share. And it's funny because like American Eagle, Abercrombie has been around forever.
Forever.
I was not, I think I missed that whole boat of, I remember the stores. I remember people it being popular,
school.
but I didn't shop there.
Yeah.
Probably because in high school I was shopping at like the thrift store. I don't know. I missed that
I think
whole
it
thing.
got
but-
really popular a couple years after we were out of. I think it was getting popular. Was it popular where you were at?
It was popular
Yeah.
for me when it was
Same.
during the flannel grunge like stage. So I have like
Oh.
I got my flannels from Abercrombie, and then it continued in popularity during the like tiny tees and all of that, and then
Yep.
the models. So it actually sort of had different pieces
Phases.
of yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so that yes, good quality. The NFL, there's even like an NFL tab. They have like
Yeah.
all the NFL
It's a
gear,
big-
like
yeah,
jackets,
it's a-
hoodies,
yep.
sweatshirts, all stuff.
And
Way
some
better
stuff
than going
in
to
NFL too.
Dick's. Way better than going to Dick's Sporting Goods the day of a big Chicago Bears game and trying to get your kids some sweatshirts and paying
Not a
an
great
egregious amount of
plan.
money
Yes.
for them
Yeah.
and not having them be as cute as what you're wearing
Yeah.
right
Oh,
now.
and they have
so-
kids. So now Abercrombie has
they have
kids stuff
youth.
too. So they have
Yeah.
kids, like they have kids, they have women, they have men's. So highly recommend.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. So.
Fun.
So that was a good lead in back into sports. So today we're going to be talking about sports. We're going to kind of set this up like we do, or we have with our pop culture roundup, where we kind of just talk about little different hot topics in sports. I thought it'd be fun if we start off with like sports fandom. Like, why are people so crazed about sports? I know for my husband, like I watch him sometimes and I'm like, I don't get it. But when I think about it as a psychologist, I do get it. He's like invested in his team. He loves his team. So by the way, he's a Dolphins fan. He grew up in Florida. He's also very invested in his fantasy football teams. And like, I joke with him, I'm like, you're not on the team, right? Like you don't get a paycheck, but he's like so invested. So it just to me, it's so funny. Like I said, initially my reaction is like, I don't get it. Like, why are you so invested in this? But from like a psychology perspective, it's being part of something, being part of a group. Like we all love that feeling of being part of something. And I think sports is like an easy one to be part of. I mentioned earlier, like I'm all about Chicago. Like I'm not a big sports person, but like I love Chicago. And so I will always wear like a Chicago Bears. Like I'm happy to do it. I actually like watching Bears play because it's my home team, but I wouldn't really watch like another team if it wasn't on. So what are you guys' thoughts on sports fandoms?
I think it depends on the person and the particular sport. And I think most people gravitate towards just a few sports that they really are into watching or seeing live. It tends not to be across the board where they're watching hockey, baseball, soccer, football, every sport that their particular city has. I think my stage of life, so I come from a diehard Chicago Bears family. Like my grandpa had season tickets when they, played before Soldier Field was built, when they played at Wrigley. And my uncle has had tickets for, 40 plus years. And
you guys have good seats.
and
Like
he's
you
got
have
good
good
seats. Good seats. I had the privilege of going to one of the Bears Packers playoff games, front row seats. It's awesome. My husband has gotten to go since we got married. So he's been going forever. He has season tickets the last 15 years and gets to go, probably longer, maybe almost 18, 19 years with my uncles. And for me, it's actually transitioned more recently. So for me, it's always just been, this is what my family does. When I had to pick my wedding date in October, I had to work around the Bears home schedule. And it's just what we do. And we get together, to watch March Madness, and we get together, for Bears games. And it's just what just sort of, that's how I was raised. And this is just what we do. And it's a way to be together and have that shared enjoyment.
Connection. Yeah.
Yeah. And that connection. And then you start to get to know the players and you get invested and you get to follow the storylines. And I also really like the game of football. I think it's pretty complex. I think there's a lot of strategy involved. I think it actually requires a pretty intellectual mind when you think about all the different plays and the different strategies that are involved in positions. And now for me, it's watching my kids discover a love of, and both of them have said, we love to watch football. Of all the sports they watch, they're like, it's most fun to watch football, college football, NFL football. And I think now it's seeing that them learn it and experience it, and it feels so new and fresh, sort of like a lot of things with kids, holidays, going to Disney, going to Great America, fill in the blank, things that you start to see through your kids' eyes. For me, sports has become that as well. So, yeah.
Well, and Terry, I think that you mentioning it's how you grew up is really key because Vanessa, I think I'm more similar to you where I have never been a huge sports person because I was raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
She didn't watch sports, so I didn't grow up watching sports. So my kind of introduction to the sports world came when I went to the University of Michigan. And of course, that is a huge
sports,
football. And as a student, you just get you get the football tickets and
when
you go.
When Tom Brady was there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that was my introduction into it. And even now, I will watch a team that I'm invested in. Usually I love a good playoff. I love to really have the stakes be high, and then I'm all in. But kind of other than that, I'm a little bit like take it or leave it unless it's something I'm invested in. But I have talked a lot about, I feel the same way about movies and TV. And I know my actors and actresses. I don't passively watch things. I actively watch things the same way that my husband watches football or basketball. And so I think that for me, when I can put it into that realm of okay, this is their movies. This is they know all the different this and this ins and outs. I am that way with TV and movies. And so that's kind of how I wrap my head around it, because for the longest time I was like, I don't get it. But now
it's their and their storylines. There's storylines to the players and the teams and the coaches and the other team they're playing. And I can get into anything that has a storyline.
You give me a good storyline.
I love a good storyline. And so even if there's for the Super Bowl, I will be reading all the articles and watching all of the little things this week.
Same.
Okay, you guys are going to get this on right before the Super Bowl. So this week leading up to the Super Bowl, that's what I'll have been doing so that I can be invested in a couple of the players or a couple of the storylines. I really wanted the Rams to win last week because I wanted to see Matthew Stafford, who was a former Lions quarterback, get into the Super Bowl one more time because I feel like he must be close to retirement. Anyway, I know all of that because I follow the storyline, right? And so then I can invest in watching the Rams, even though my team was out of it weeks ago, right? So I think it's a really good point, Vanessa and Wilhelmina. I think you hit it in terms of it's a sense of togetherness, and you can get that through books and movies and TV as well as sports. And then to Terry's point, and culturally, if that's the way you were raised, that's kind of a value in your family, a way to be together. Then it really takes on a whole different meaning when you have a family of your own and you can start, we're having a Super Bowl party this weekend with, all the, my parents and my, sisters and the cousins and all of that kind of stuff. And we'll do it before the game. Everybody will go home to watch the game, but it's just an idea of getting together to celebrate something and be together and make little, the squares bets and things like that, right? So
you guys won't watch it together?
I mean, probably not. There's a lot of young kids, right? So at some point, everybody goes home and gets ready for school.
I wish they would move it to a Saturday. I wish they would move it to a Saturday.
Really
Bars and restaurants would make so much more money.
Yeah. Can we please?
I know we're going to Super Bowl party, but we're going home after
half or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the age of the kid. Yeah. Some people might stay.
We're going to watch halftime show.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny, and then we're gonna then we'll go home.
My kids are old enough now to where we could watch the whole thing, but you know, my sister's kiddos are still, you know,
little
younger. So that time factor is annoying.
Yeah.
Especially since the West Coast gets it at 3:00.
Yeah.
Like
I've always felt that about the Oscars too. I'm always like, why aren't the Oscars on a Saturday? I'd love to be able to.
Yes.
I know.
Let us all stay up and watch everything. Right? So anyway,
What are some other hot topics in sports?
Ooh, Terry's got a really good one.
So
I want to hear more about this.
Yes. And I'm by no means an expert. I did a little bit of cursory research, sort of surface level. There is a former Olympian who became a drug kingpin who was recently arrested. So if you have not heard of this,
ripe for a movie.
Yes.
Speaking of movies,
right?
Yes, there will be one.
There will be one. And he's
Yeah.
sort of cute-ish if you, I don't know.
That'll do it.
Like,
So
you
who
know.
would play him?
Wait, what's
who
his
would
name?
play
Let
him?
me look him up.
Oh, shoot. I don't look him up, Lauren, while I'm talking.
Okay.
Okay.
He's like a bigger guy, isn't he?
Yes. But in his prime, I think he looked cuter in his prime, obviously. So he's 44 currently.
Before he became a kingpin.
Before he became a drug lord in Mexican cartels. So he is our age. He's 44. He actually is from Canada. So he represented Canada in the 2002 Olympics. He's a snowboarder, Canadian snowboarder. He actually was only in
Ryan Wedding.
Thank you. I didn't even say his name yet. Ryan Wedding. Wedding. Oh,
yeah, he's a little rough now. Well, he was cute when he was younger.
And
drugs.
Rough now.
Drugs McGee. That'll do it to you. So he was in one event in 2002 and came in 24th. So by no means, so he qualified for the Olympics. He competed in one event.
But that's a very small percentage that qualifies for the Olympics.
Exactly.
He's elite athlete.
Yes. He was an elite athlete. What happened between 2002 and now, which was 24 years ago, it's a lot of time. So he was, 20 at the time, just entered his 20s. He somehow became involved in drug trafficking, and he was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. He was being protected by the Mexican cartels. There was multiple warrants out for his arrest. He himself, I believe, didn't kill somebody, but he ordered a hit on somebody and had somebody else killed. His story is fascinating, but all of this has been, number 20 in the news because of this wacky world we live in right now. And there's so many.
It'll be a story for the Olympics, I bet.
I think we're going to hear about it more as the Olympic news bubbles up, which I love the Olympic, all the Olympic stuff. Again, the storylines and the backgrounds and people's journeys to get there. But if you are looking for a sidebar news item to dig deeper on, there's not a lot out there though. I don't think he has a family. I don't think I don't think he has kids or anything. I'm really curious about how did he get from point A to point Z.
We need Ryan Murphy to make a TV show about this.
Yes,
this is what we need.
I feel like anytime you have athletes who kind of have their fall from grace, we're always like, how did that happen? Right? Like we've heard of athletes getting arrested for DUIs, and we're always like, why are you driving yourself?
Have a driver.
Get a driver.
I think
get a black car.
Complex crimes, right? You're always how did you go from there to there?
I think because
there's 1,000 reasons why, right? But I think it's fascinating to people who are not in those positions. You were there, and then.
But I think that's part of the reason why. They were so highly structured, so highly focused on this one singular goal for so long. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard of, the Tom Brady's of the world talk about that, that they go through this significant period of depression after they're done with their thing. They've reached the peak of their sport to where they don't have an identity or a sense of self. And then if you're not rooted in a family or a good, social support system, you can imagine, drug lord, that's quite the leap.
But the paths are lots of plastic surgery like Tom Brady or Mexican drug cartel. These are the options. Just saying.
You gotta pick.
He doesn't.
But it is
now.
You can imagine how they would then their mental health would suffer, and then we know that things can go in all sorts of different directions if you're not quite stable in terms of, again, sense of self, identity, things like that. But it is fascinating, Vanessa, how they go from functioning at such an elite level of their profession to I'm going to take a turn at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although that's probably why he was successful for a period of time as a drug lord. and had protection from the cartels because he was probably very good at what he did because he knew how to function at a very high level in a thing.
Very focused.
I
and
retract
targeted.
my statement that I thought he was good looking. I don't think he's good looking
when
now.
he was younger, he had like a baby face.
And even then, not quite for my liking. So I retract. Carry on. So if you are looking for a news item, Ryan Wedding, I'm hoping more will come out to the Olympics. So if you hear that, you'll go, oh, that's the thing Terry was talking about. Yeah. What else do you gals got?
Well,
Wilhelmina, we know what you want to talk about.
We know you're itching to tell us more.
So when we decided on this topic, I was like, well, I'm just going to talk more about Heated Rivalry then, because, sports.
It has to do with sports.
And my love of movies and TV. So there you go. It's the perfect blending.
And books.
Yes, and books.
Yeah.
So I have now watched it 3 times all the way through. Mm-hmm. Yep.
What? How do you find the time?
Well, to be fair, it is only 6 episodes. It is only 6 episodes. They're all less than an hour.
Okay.
So
that's still really good.
Okay, then I
have not watched.
I'm still impressed, but I've
had so many people mention this to me that I just need to get it done. I just need to watch it.
I don't have HBO. No one's watched it. Okay.
Okay. No, haven't watched it. But I mean, I've heard so much, and I think one of the things is that this is really good for sports, right? It's showing another side to sports and athletes and.
Yeah, it is. So I basically was like, obviously my whole existence recently has been Heated Rivalry. It's actually been quite a nice break from everything going on in the world. Like I actually pulled up my Instagram reels, and I believe the entire thing was just Heated Rivalry.
Do you think that's part of why it landed so well? Also, just in the current climate,
sort of that COVID effect.
Possibly. I mean, it is a nice escape. I think anyone who is like, well, what's this all about? I gotta take a look, which is kind of where it started for me. Then you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, there is something there. So I've read a ton of articles, and I feel like my takeaways are that 1, it isn't just a novelty show. These are 6 well done episodes. The creator of the show, so it's based on this book series, which I guess most of the people I know who've read the series are like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
but
there's 4 books. Is that right?
I think there's 6. I think there's 6 books.
Each one was okay.
Yes. And Jacob Tierney, who's the creator and then wrote the script for the show, took the books and elevated it. He clearly had a passion.
I think they were Hallmark style books, right?
Yes. They were. They were.
Okay.
And
this is not a Hallmark show.
This is not a Hallmark show. Basically, this tiny little network in Canada was trying to find like a Bridgerton show for them. Yes. And then they kind of were like, maybe this is the time we could take this subject matter of 2 rival hockey players having a relationship on. So they did it. And there's clearly so much trust in Jacob Tierney, in the actors. These actors were working full time, other jobs outside of acting. They were not, they were no name actors.
Yeah. That was smart.
Right. It's so smart because you can just dive into,
and they look super young, imagine right? Like they're very young. Okay.
One of the guys, you would think he was Russian, and he is not.
He's American, right?
He's American. You watch the show and you're like, oh, this man's Russian. Nope, he didn't even know Russian before he signed on for this and learned Russian to do this show.
Amazing.
I like that.
And so it was going to be released post-Olympics, and then they were going to kind of edit it up. And then they decided once they had the cuts and edits, they were like, this is actually really good. Let's get this out at Thanksgiving so that people can watch it. I know. And HBO picked it up 2 weeks before it launched.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks.
Wow.
It had very little publicity going on.
Yeah.
So there is something there. The show was like magic in a bottle. And I think when you watch it, you see that. So I got Owen to watch it on my 3rd watching of it. And I think he was sort of he's watched a lot of my silly stuff. And I think he was kind of ready to be like, oh, okay, yeah. And it was funny because I was telling a friend earlier today, we got to like the 5th episode and there was something that happened and Owen was like, oh, is he going to do this now? Oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, he's hooked. I was like, he's hooked into it. He's invested. He's invested in the characters. And he was the one that actually said the words, this is not just a novelty show. This is like a good, like well done show.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's well done, and people obviously are like so interested in like this idea that and we don't hear a lot about gay men in sports, right? Like high profile athletes, right? So like we don't hear a lot of that in general, right? From sport. So I think that was also something that hooked people. Like they did a really good job, and the topic, right, is
absolutely
interesting.
The topic is, and I think that the sex is talked about a lot, obviously. And I will say though that the sex is not anything. It's Bridgerton, Outlander, like they're just as like sexually risque. It's just the fact that it's gay sex.
Two men.
Two men. There's no frontal nudity. You only just see a lot of butts. You hear things, you get imagery, but like it isn't as explicit as people are making it sound.
Well, it's just the newness of it, right?
Yes.
It's never been done before in this way.
A lot of butts.
A lot of butts. My girlfriend today was like, wow, that man's ass. It is just, it's like, we got to
what is he like 20
watermelons?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was going to say.
And in very good shape. Like he is, it's so Owen was like, well, what if this were like a man and a woman? He's like, I think the show would still be good. I was like, no, it would be the same. That's played out. I said,
interesting.
The part of the fantasy, because 2/3 of the viewers that are watching the show are women. So what is it about this show that women are responding to? Other than the fact that, of course, it's a romance. That's part of it. But I think that there's something here of women being able to have this like romantic fantasy, and they don't have to be a part of it. They don't have to do any of the emotional labor. Seriously, they don't have to do any of the emotional labor. They get to watch 2 men doing all of the emotional work, having conversations, like taking risks, opening up, being like all comforting each other, doing scary things together, all without a woman having to like rescue a man, say what he can't say, do any of that. It's like, oh my God, this is, I can just sit back and relax. This is nice. And men can actually do this. Men can do this. And so I do think there is a fantasy piece that one of the articles I read was like, hey, maybe men should be paying attention to what this is. What is this show saying about what women are truly wanting and desiring? Because clearly it's resonating for the female audience. And it isn't just like men having sex. There's something more, because that's not what people are actually talking about. People are talking about the moments, the last 2 episodes. People talk about that more than anything. These moments that they're having of being open and honest and being there for each other, regulating each other, showing up for each other. It's awesome.
And one of the characters has autism, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you feel like
talked?
Yeah, how do you feel that's portrayed? And I realize when the saying is when you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, because there's so much variety in terms of presentations. There's a lot of overlap, but there's also a lot of variety. So how do you think that was?
I think they did a really good job, because I watched it all the way through. Didn't really kind of notice some of his little idiosyncrasies, if you will. He's pretty kind of a little rigid. He always, like, anywhere he goes, he's like, he wants a ginger ale to drink, like he has these little things that they just subtly weave into the story. So when I read it after the fact, I was like, oh, and I could point out the scenes,
but they don't talk about it.
Nope.
They don't actually use the word or talk about the diagnosis.
Never say it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I see.
Which is, I think, even better, because then when I watched it the second and third time, I was like, it was so clear to me, and made it all the better that they didn't even say it. They just had it.
And I haven't watched it yet, but what sounds cool to me about it is that there is a myth and a stereotype out there that individuals on the spectrum are asexual, that they don't have sexual interests or desires. They're not interested in it. And that's not the case. That's definitely not the case.
Well, there's that show Love on the Spectrum that people love on Netflix.
I like that show. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think it's a good point, Terry. to not make that the focus, the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Well, and I think for that character, the sex is when there's like, there's a level of safety and connection there. And
Yes, it should be.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome.
So I highly recommend it. And then of course you have to text me when you watch it so that you can,
Obviously.
I can
We will.
show you all of my Instagram reels and get your feed to look a little bit more like mine.
I have high expectations now.
Right.
But not just because of you, Wilmina, but just it's the zeitgeist. So I have high expectations.
Hyped.
Yeah.
It's been hyped.
I think I feel confident that if nothing else, I think you'll enjoy it. Like, I feel like at bare minimum, you're going to be like, yeah.
It's super watchable.
Right.
Yeah.
Super watchable. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, should we shift gears significantly?
Yeah. What do you got, Lauren?
You want to finish up with youth sports? One of my favorite things
Oh, yes.
about. And
This is
Yes.
We have talked about youth sports before. However,
we have talked
Lauren,
about them.
Yeah. But Lauren sent us, and it was an article, right?
It's an article, and you guys, I have more information, and I am shocked. Michigan is the 46th state to do this.
No.
I thought like this was like brand new.
Right.
So this week, so when you're listening to this last week, Michigan approved high school students to be able to profit from NIL, name, image, and likeness. So what college students are getting that we've had such a hard time wrapping our head around.
Which is newer for college students the past couple of years. Yep.
And so now we're down to the high school level, making Michigan the 46th state to allow NIL at the high school level. How did I not know this?
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
I had no idea.
It makes me sad. My initial gut, and I want to hear what you guys think. My gut is it just makes me so sad because youth sports as they are so shifting the focus from, oh my gosh, community, togetherness, team building, character building of kids, and the focus is so much on adults and so much of adults that haven't lived out their youth and are utilizing youth to live out some of these. Oh my gosh, believe me, anybody that knows me knows I could go all day about this. I have such issues with how things have shifted anyway in youth sports. So now for this to be something that they can then profit off of,
I hate this.
Sad was the feeling I had. I
hate this so much from an adolescent development perspective, from a continuing to widen the disparity between the have and have nots. And whoever can afford the private coaching and extra training sessions. And we're just making the gap is already massive, even compared to when we were kids. And now it is going to be the most wealthiest kids whose parents can devote time to their kid like it's a job. That's who's going to make it, so to speak. Like it's a job.
You have to hire
this.
a recruiter. You have to, it's just, it just makes me sad. I know our kids are all kind of similar enough in age that they're at the precipice of this like high school sports. Which again is supposed to be such a good thing. We all know the mental health benefits, the cognitive benefits of being part of something. And I don't mean like your typical four sports, an activity, dance,
anything,
gymnastics, right? Like
a book club,
drama, art club,
a team, a belonging,
debate. There's so much good in that. And when you take youth sports
and money
to what Terry's saying, it just widens this gap of what kids feel like they can do. And then as a parent, it just makes me sad. Like, I don't even know if my kids will be able to play at the high school level because at 10 and 12, I'm not doing anything like this. I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff.
No.
Nor do I think you should. Yeah. And yet that's going to just put these kids in this,
it just
I don't even know that I formulated all my thoughts about it.
It's the pressure these kids must feel of if their parent does take this on as their little project.
They have to, because it's not the kid doing it, right? Like, it has to be an adult who is taking the lead on this.
Doing the social media posts and sending sample videos and social media.
And there's such a wide variety. Look at the things for Michigan. The only things that are prohibited: alcohol, tobacco, cannabis, and gambling.
Oh, good.
Those are prohibited. Thank God. I mean, got to have some guidelines here. But that means like the things that are allowed.
It's a wide. It's a wide net.
I don't even know. Makeup, face, all the athletic gear, I don't even know.
So,
they said you can do, they're allowed to sign autographs for money. They can run their own camps or private lessons for money, but they can't be on the school grounds.
Guys,
They can't
you
use
can
the
have
school
Maddie and
logo.
Griffin's signatures for free. I'll give it to you. You can have them.
So my kids were asking the question, why would I want to pay for a high school autograph, a high schooler's autograph?
Oh, if they become big.
Well, that's
think
what
of
I said, Wilhelmina. I said Bryce Underwood is an example of a high schooler that, well, he's at University of Michigan now. Okay. He's their hot new quarterback. But as a high schooler, he was in Belleville, which is very close to Ann Arbor. And so everybody kind of knew this high school kid from Belleville was going to U of M. So my guess is it would be something like a kid like in this situation, somebody that's local, you know, he's going, you've heard all these things about how great he's going to be one day. And so you go and you stand in a line and pay to get his autograph when he's 15. Because then at some point he's going to be in the NFL or something. I don't know.
like a Cooper Flag, right? Who is in the NBA,
Yes.
plays for the Mavericks, played
yes.
1 year at Duke.
Great example.
He scored 49 points last night and had 10 rebounds in a game, youngest in NBA history. He is
so
the next
young.
Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
So Cooper Flag is a high schooler.
That's a great example.
That would be somebody.
So you know, because you've read the articles, he's already out there. The media's interviewing him.
Yeah.
Well, you know, LeBron James he didn't even go to college, but whatever. Like, that's what I'm like, oh, so this is going to start so much younger now. That's what makes me sad.
Well, and then and then I wonder I had no idea either. And that many states, I need to see if Illinois is on the list.
I'm like 46. This means this is going on everywhere
else. And then I
else.
wonder how prolific it is. So how many, is anyone tracking that? So how many high school students are actually,
and how much are they making?
And how much, right? Like how much are actually, like what percentage of high school sport athletes are actually getting some type of funding and have a deal? And then what's the value? Like how much are they making?
And then I wonder how many of those kids actually go on to
make it big.
So here's
my question. Yeah. Does that piece matter? Because, okay, let's say it's a swimmer and they get a sponsorship for electrolytes. Okay. Like a drink powder, something like totally kind of innocuous, right? But that 16-year-old then is utilizing social media. Like, I don't know, like it's almost beyond athletics. It's like, so now these kids are, I don't know. Is it different than cutting lawns though?
And we're like,
I know,
I
guess I'm struggling with like,
right.
I mean, we all had jobs as high schoolers. So do they look at it as a job? Or like then you add in the social media aspect and it gets super murky.
Well, the idea of a side hustle is very big among, I think, people of all ages, but
Young
it's
adults,
really big with Gen Z and younger. So everyone is, I'm going to try to do a side hustle. There's a lot of college students nowadays who will try to start a clothing company while they're in college. They will try to make videos, fitness videos, to see if they can get some sponsorship. So there is a big culture of side hustles among younger people. And I think that's pervasive across all
about the
ages.
age.
But yeah,
if your brain is fully formed and you are a young adult and you want to do that, awesome. But we're talking about these kids that are now, it's going to go before high school because you're going to have to already be ready to go right at high school. So we're talking about kids our age whose we know prefrontal cortexes are not fully formed. And somebody mentioned parents are going to have to be running this gig, and what do the kids understand about it, and how does this impact their self-image, their self-worth, their understanding of their value? I don't know. It's all very confusing.
Well, only negatively, I would think. I mean, really, I would think that anything, I shouldn't say only negatively. I feel like they are really going to hinge their identity on something that is how other people are responding to them or using them. And I feel like that's always a dangerous route, right?
Yeah.
Instead of it like their self-worth and their kind of sense of self coming from within, it's going to come externally. And that would
be a bigger concern for me than anything.
Agreed.
And that's why I was asking about like how many of these kids make it big, more so in the context of, okay, like emotionally, right? So I did all this stuff and now where am I? Who am I is a bigger question, right? Like, because this didn't pan out for me and I invested all my time and my energy into being this was my identity. I was the super sport person. And if I don't make it, we all know that like the percentage of people who make it big is pretty small.
So
tiny.
So small.
Tiny. So that was where my questioning was coming about like how many of
That's a
these
good
kids actually make
question.
it big. Because I was concerned about how does this impact them emotionally when they don't, right? You don't. And then what do you fall back on?
It is,
Or is the idea make as much money as you can while you can?
it's going to make parents rabid.
Oh,
yeah, they're
gross.
already rabid.
They're already
yes.
There
These
are already
that all
parents
think
around
they're,
here.
5'0" kids going to the NBA.
They're
Like,
everywhere,
I mean,
Wilhelmina.
come
They're
on.
everywhere.
Right.
Oh my God,
they're everywhere. I mean,
everywhere.
people for kids around me in elementary school, like early elementary, that are already like eye on the prize for like college and beyond.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's crazy. I'm like, there's so many things that can happen between now and then. Let's slow our roll just a bit.
But I will say it is hard when you have a kid who's genuinely like naturally athletic, like it comes to them easily. It's like, I do think, this is not me, like my kid's not in sports, my kid dances, but even then, how much do you harness, right? Like how much do you, so I think it is hard.
I know.
I don't know how I feel about social media stuff, but like how much do you kind of nurture that
just let them
versus
have
just
fun.
let it be,
Like,
right?
Why don't you just let them have fun being good at something that they enjoy doing? Like that is intrinsically.
You make it sound so simple.
I
agree, by the way. I totally agree with you. Yes. But unfortunately, there are so many other factors at play that you can be the parent that says, I want to support and nurture my child because she has a talent.
Yeah.
And I want her to have fun. And there are 10 other parents or coaches or organizations that are saying, well, she can have fun, but she should also do this extra private training session. And if you don't do this, then you're already behind in this. And like, ooh, you shouldn't be at that studio or on that team because they're not as, I mean, it is so like, they take the fun out of it. Yeah. So it's really hard. I mean, I 100% agree with you, Wilhelmina. That's what it should be about. Yeah. These should be about skill building and having fun and increasing their self-esteem because to Vanessa's point, they may be athletically inclined in a particular area and how awesome that feels to be good at something. And yet.
And it seems like that is the message, at least in my experience, having two boys until about age 7 or 8. This is a chance for everyone to try it. This is skill building. Let's teach them how to get along with others and be part of a team and get some exercise and fresh air. And then at about age 8 or so, it really shifts. It's when the travel sports start. It's when there's more tryouts. It's when you can play lacrosse year round. You can do golf year round.
Put a lot of money into
something. You can. We don't have seasons anymore. Every sport is all seasons year round. It really, it's like this real quick switch that seems to flip.
We're just going to move it indoors. Now it's
every sport can be turned
and you
indoors.
don't even realize when you're signing up for these things. You're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this all weekend long? How'd that happen?
Yeah, you're like, I thought this.
What did I sign?
Yeah, I thought this ended in January. It doesn't end in January. It ends in April. What? Yeah.
10 months? Yeah. I'm fairly certain. No? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Griffin the other day was like, I want to play baseball, Mom, this summer. And I was like, baseball? I was like, where do you even, you're 11 now. You've never played baseball before your entire life. I'm like, I'm like, softball? He's like, nope, baseball. I'm like,
okay.
And I like genuinely am like, at 11, where does...
Isn't that sad?
But
you should be able to say as a parent of an 11-year-old, awesome, let's get you signed up at the local park.
Hey, I feel like Michael Jordan started playing basketball at I believe it was 11 or 12. He was
that was like 40 years ago. The world has changed.
I know.
I'm also a mom that's terrorized by the idea of baseball. I'm like, all I think is concussions and balls to the head.
He's going to be
Wilhelmina, I don't know how you feel about this. Wilhelmina, where Jack plays
Heated Rivalry is on my mind.
Where Jack plays soccer, Wilhelmina. This facility has doubleheader baseball games on Friday nights indoors for children your children's age. So you could start right now if you wanted to. I can't find parking on Friday nights for soccer practice, indoor soccer practice, because of all the doubleheader baseball games that are going on in this like
baseball is like egregiously slow for me. I'm like,
I wasn't sad when the boys stopped playing baseball because it's rough.
It's a fun thing to go to an MLB game in the middle of summer and get a hot dog. Of course, it's a tough thing.
Kids playing baseball is hard to watch.
Not double headers with like 11-year-olds
on a Friday night in January.
Yeah. Oh,
indoors. Talk about concussions. I'm like, how did they make sure that like they're not hitting the ceiling and firing back at their head? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how it works, but yeah, it's a whole nother discussion. I mean, listen, I didn't think you guys were going to have different opinions than me, but it always makes me feel better when I throw that out there and you're like, what? I had no idea it was all over the country. I thought for sure when I heard this news that Michigan must have been like one of the first. So obviously this is a bigger thing happening, and it has been happening. To Terry's point, it started in college not that long ago, and we were all like, whoa. And that was hard to wrap everybody's head around. It still is, right? Because now you don't have your college quarterback for 4 years. They're going in the portal every 5 seconds. We don't even know where everybody is. And then the Miami quarterback admits he hasn't been to classes for 2 years because he graduated 2 years ago. And you're like, what? Why are you playing college football? So like the whole thing at a college level has been hard to wrap my head around. And now we're taking it down to
Illinois, it's allowed.
Is one of them?
It's allowed.
Oh man.
Yeah. See? Illinois, it's allowed for my Illinois listeners.
It's something I think we should all do.
Maryland, it's
we're
allowed.
all chewing on it.
Well, I'll set up Griffin's baseball account right now.
When you guys get an invite to my children's social media account to promote their products, please accept it.
Oh, God.
Well, ladies, it was a good talk as usual. Please join us next time on The Shrink Down.